is Arkansas. Of course, it was wacky. Welcome into the TexAgs postgame wrap where A&M defeats Arkansas 45-42. This is presented to you by TKO Equipment, your Aggie-owned and operated Texas construction and aggregate equipment dealer. It was founded 47 years ago by the Smith family. Aggie classes of 60, 67, and 69, and 73 continuing today with classes of 73, 98, 12 actively involved. Headquartered in DFW with a fully stocked branch office in New Braunfels, TKO proudly serves all of Texas and has the equipment expertise and passion for service to keep your job up and running. TKO is also your exclusive Texas screen machine dealer. Give them a call for all your earth moving or aggregate equipment needs, or simply visit tkoequipment.com to learn more. Okay, guys, 7-0. And I already got a text. Let me see if I can find that text. Not a text. It was a tweet from Art. I'm going to read this to you because I think he's not the only one who sent me messages about this win. David Nuno, we don't want to hear the pundit say a win is a win. I guess I'm a pundit, so representing the pundit community. A win is a win in the SEC. That was an atrocious performance by the Aggie D and coaches against a gimpy quarterback on a terrible team. The Ag D was buying into their own hype. Well, Art, I don't think the defense looked good either. How about that? I still think any win in the SEC on the road is a win. A win is a good win. I don't care where they come from. But I have questions about the defense myself. My brother's blowing me up. I got Mr. Nagley blowing me up. I've got, not in a bad way, by the way. Blowing me up is not a bad thing. Just everybody's got their opinions of the way the team looked. And, defense had some issues against a very mobile quarterback, very reminiscent to what we saw against South Carolina a year ago, where we couldn't tackle Lenore Sellers. Well, they had problems tackling Taylor Green, and they could not stop that running attack. But A&M finds a way to win. Their offense was very efficient. And we're going to break it down with our post-game panel. Brandon Leone, Chris Harrington, and Chris Taylor joining us here on the show. Okay, I was on my soapbox. Mr. Taylor, CT, start us off. Where are you on this win for A&M?
Not the prettiest, but again, it's a win on the road in the SEC. We knew coming in, and this was the one that worried me the most. You know, when you look at Bobby Petrino has history with our program. He's been a head coach. You never know what you're gonna expect from him. You only had really one game of tape after the regime change there in Arkansas. So there were a lot of unknown factors going into this game, and this one I said all week. Arkansas was the one that scared me the most. Going to Fayetteville, they've always played us tough. It's considered a rivalry, so all of those things rang true. But, as you look at this team, and it is a team game, and tonight was the epitome of that. Defense didn't look great, gave up, 42 points, but the offense scored 45. So, again, we come out of there with a win. You're on the road, for all intents and purposes, it's a night game. But I was just so proud of what the offense was able to do. We last week when we talked, if the defense can travel, we give ourselves a chance. Where the offense packed their bags this game, gave us a chance, scored 45. I mean, it's what can you say about that offense? On the 9 drives that really mattered, we were 7 of 9. I think we scored 6 touchdowns, kicked 1 field goal. So that's huge. That's huge. Or it could have been 2 field goals. Sorry. I just think it's huge. When you look at what this team needed to do on the road, 1 down, 2 to go. You play 1 to win 1, and I thought the team, the offense definitely showed up when, on the night that the defense really struggled. But again, that's why we call this thing a team game. We had one team, one side of the ball pick up the other, and ultimately you came out with the win, and that's what really matters here.
Mr. Harrington, your thoughts on how this one played out?
Yeah, we got to stop when we needed one. It wasn't pretty, so we struggled all night defensively, gap integrity, setting edges. It was very frustrating to see. This game, I felt like it, halfway through the second quarter, I felt like it was going in the direction it needed to, and then we let them get back in. And they gave us their best effort. Taylor Green's a very talented quarterback, very athletic, fast, and he gave us fits all night. So I'm glad that we made the plays that we needed to make there in the fourth quarter to put the game out of sight. but definitely lots of tape to look at, lots of things to work on.
Brandon Leone, give me something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fired up. Was that pretty? No. Is that a game that in the past we find a way to lose and blow a huge opportunity to be in the top 3 for the first time in I don't know how long? Yes. But think about these things, Nuno. Seriously, 5 of the 11 undefeated teams went down tonight. Weather turned this from an afternoon SEC game against a team that's just hanging by a thread to a night game, right? Defense let them get back into the game towards the end. But the offense, just like we've done every game this year, when one side of the ball was struggling, the other side stepped up. Marcel Reed was phenomenal. We were 3 for 3 on 4th down. We had 9 different players catch a football, get a reception. We had 7 different players have a rushing attempt. Like, what you're seeing is a team that is building depth and the ability to spread the ball out. And this is without Le'Veon Moss. And so something that we couldn't do last year without 8, we did tonight. And, here's the reality to me about Taylor Green. That's by far the most dynamic quarterback I think we will face the rest of the season. And the way that we run defense, the way that we blitz and bring pressure, I think man defense in the back a lot. I was worried about this one because I knew there was going to be space in the middle of the field if he got out, and we let him out too much. And so there's plenty of stuff to fix on defense. But I agree. This was the game that I was the most nervous about because everyone was like, oh, we should take care of them. They got an interim coach. They're down and out. But, man, every Arkansas A&M game has been crazy for the last 10, 15 years. And we found a way to win. We're 7-0 and 4-0 in the SEC, and we won a night SEC road game. And so, yeah, there's plenty of stuff to complain about, and we can break it down. But, man, they won, dude. They found a way to win. Players made plays when they needed to, and I'm excited about it. I didn't breathe for probably 4 hours and was stressed out of my mind. Heart rate was through the roof, but we did it. We got a dub. Let's go. On to the next.
Harrington, I got people who texted me during the Auburn game and said, our offense is terrible. I had people last week telling me things as well, right? And I'm thinking to myself, guys, this is an evolving season. We've now got 7 weeks of evidence that says that this team knows how to win games in the fourth quarter. This one was a little tighter than I think any of us expected because there were a couple opportunities where they could have blown this team out, and they did miss that killer instinct at the end of the half and then at the end of the game. Because if Marcel scores that touchdown, if there's not a hold, then we're feeling a little bit differently right now. None of that happened, and they found a way to win the game. They've won shootouts. They've won defensive struggles. On a week, there was a couple weeks ago, Marcel can't complete a pass is the kind of text I would get. People aren't complaining about the offense or Marcel today, Chris.
No, I think we could have put up 60 tonight. And I'm not sure about that Basantis holding call.
No.
I felt like that was really petty. I don't think that was a good call, but there were some drop balls. I don't think Craver had his Concepcion. I think he had a couple drops, but it was really good to see some other guys step up. It was really good to see EJ, bounce off offensive linemen and find the hole and get that big first down for us. And Ashley Bethel Roman had a big night as a freshman coming in. So it's really good to see some other guys stepping up. That's really encouraging to see. And again, like you said, making the big plays when they count.
Leone, the running back. So no Le'Veon, but EJ had his say in today's game. Jamario Morrow had his say. Ruben Owens had his say. When you look at the backfield, and I know that Arkansas ran over A&M's defense, and I think Mike Washington had 70 yards in the first quarter, finished with 147. So I guess you kind of limited him after that somewhat, except for that big third down conversion that he got. But back to our offense and our running game, we had several guys step up and carry that load, and Amari Daniels too.
Yeah, again, I think it's just proof in the pudding of this coaching staff is building depth. EJ Smith ran like he was pissed off tonight. It was firing me up. The fourth down play, our tight end gets blown up into the backfield. He gets pushed backwards and still has the urgency and effort and determination to convert that fourth down, which was a huge play. Ruben Owens, when he catches that ball that Marcel lobbed to him going into the red zone, it was lobbed up. The defender's coming straight at his face, and he holds on to it. And then EJ gets a touchdown. They call back. Next play, Ruben Owens comes in and trucks a dude into the end zone. Amari Daniels trucks a guy on the sideline. So these guys are playing hungry. There's depth there. Again, we know losing Moss sucks, but that's the difference between this year's team and last year. We have so many more options in the backfield, at the receiver position, at the tight end position. Marcel is developing more as a quarterback. And, man, I thought Klein called a hell of a game tonight. It was balanced. And the pressure was on offense all night long because the defense was not finding ways to get stops. And, dude, they answered the call and won on the road in an SEC night game against a team that was absolutely desperate and that hates our guts. And so I was thrilled for the running back room, thrilled for E.J. Smith, happy to see Reuben Owens continue to get comfortable, have a little more patience with his running, setting the play up a little bit. But and even Morrow got in the mix a little bit. So, yeah, it's encouraging to see as we're getting ready to continue to have some tough road games the next few weeks. So, for me, man, huge win. Wasn't pretty, but we could have been one of those undefeated teams that went down tonight, and we are not, my friends.
CT, let's talk ABR, Ashton Bethel-Roman. We were told a lot during spring ball and fall camp that he was showing flashes. Today, those flashes were huge because whenever it seemed like, the offense never sputtered in this game, but when they needed a big play, especially in the first half, ABR came up with them.
Yeah, you can see him growing as a young wide receiver. Man, the position is challenging. You've got those guys across from you. They're on scholarship too. But one thing that I love to see, he lines up and he competes. And tonight had some big catches. I love the one down the sideline. Man, he got a great release. He restacked the defender and then got the foot down, which was huge because it was a contested catch. He made the play, and that was a big play in the game. But I just thought that he played well tonight. He seemed to be a lot more poised. He seemed to be a lot more confident. You didn't see him really fighting the ball as he got there. And so he made some big timely plays, scored a touchdown tonight, huge for us in that first half. So, excited to see as he continues to grow. But I think that, having 7 and 1 around him, really helping him to grow, really helping him to understand how to play this position. You only can look for bigger things. And then, you think about adding him to the mix with 1 and 7, man. And then we get Bussy mixed in there somewhere. This could be a really, really, really scary group that teams have to face on Saturdays.
Brandon, I'm going to read a quote from Coach Elko in this press conference. OB is tweeting out some of the stuff in the presser. We're making winning plays. We understand how to make winning plays. There's a lot of positives. 4 straight SEC wins. Now 2 big road wins. While everybody's upset, right? Not everybody. There are some that are celebrating this, and there are some that are upset. I'm kind of in the middle, right? Because I recognize you are now you're at 7 wins. The talk of 8 and 4 and 9 and 3 that was before the season, right? That seems like you control your destiny at this point. But they have won 4 straight games in the SEC. They've won a couple games on the road. We're not that far removed from this team not being able to win on the road, Brandon.
That's what I'm saying. What the hell is there to be mad about, dude? The defense had a bad night. Their offensive teammates stepped up and won a huge game. And here's what happens. We're probably going to be number 3 team in the country, barring something crazy happening with everything that's happened this weekend. And now we are 4-0 in the SEC. LSU is beat up. Obviously, they're going to be hungry and battling in Baton Rouge next weekend. But every single win now makes this season more and more impressive. And the pressure is going to it's going to increase every single game that we play. And the pressure was high tonight, right? It was a trap game. We all, I think, were a little bit nervous about it. But the battered Aggie syndrome stuff, man, let it go. This team is finding ways to win, overcoming mistakes, making winning plays, like Coach Elko said. They've stacked 4 SEC wins in a row. They've stacked 7 wins in a row. And the more and more that they keep winning, the more realistic it looks like this team has an opportunity to earn their way into the college football playoff. And so, listen, yes, there's plenty of stuff to be frustrated about this game. We all thought we should have blown them out because they were 2 and 4 and, no wins in the SEC. But listen, we won this game. We can watch tape, but then we can forget about it and focus on LSU. We keep finding ways as a program to win. And I think that Coach Elko and this staff and Coach Moffitt, what a freaking hire that was, are changing this culture. I'm telling you, a lot of these SEC wins that we've had, we would have found ways to lose these in the past. I know we all know that, and we were all stressing and feeling that tonight. But guess what? We didn't. We won. Be excited about your football team and cheer them on and get ready to go take on LSU next week for a huge game for this program.
Mr. Harrington, the offense operated with Medtronic precision in this game. The defense, not so much. What was up with the tackling?
I think big athletic receivers, not body, trying to just hit them instead of wrapping up and taking them down. I think that's part of it. But we know this defense can play at an elite level. We've seen it. We've seen it this season. Defense was pretty good last season. It was the offense that was missing. Now we've got offensive firepower. We've got great talent at each of the skill positions. So I'm confident that this defense can play at an elite level. They didn't tonight. So when you combine those things, that's how you have a really special team. And I think this is a really special group, and I'm excited about it.
CT, A&M, and Alabama are going to be atop of the SEC standings. A&M is probably going to be the number 3 ranked team in the country. And it sets up a showdown next week on the road with LSU, a place you haven't won forever. This defense won't get it done against that team, but that team doesn't move the ball the way Arkansas does. So just talk about where we are based on what you've seen this team kind of do from a game plan perspective based on their opponent, because they've won in different ways. Their defense has operated differently, and so has their offense.
Yeah, it's a week-to-week game now. And, this is, for Aggie fans, this is what we've been wanting. And so, to hear kind of the discord and people upset about, the way we won, again, this is the ultimate team game. And, as you look at this A&M team, yes, we've won in so many different ways. You look at the showdown that we have coming up next week, and we know what LSU brings to the table. We know what Nussmeier is what he's capable of doing. We know what those receivers are capable of doing. And so going into that game, I think there are a little nerves with how our defense performed, but it's one game. And, at first when we hired Elko, I wasn't sure, but I'm sure that Elko is going to be able to make the corrections, make the adjustments that we need to. I just think the first half, we were so eager to try to get to Taylor Green tonight that we were out of our pass rush lanes. We created gaps. He was able to exploit those. But you saw in the second half, for a team that ran for, I think, 220 yards in the first half, I think they ran for like less than 60 the second half. So there were adjustments that were being made. I thought the defense did play better in the second half, except for a couple of explosive plays. But we talked last week. This defense is what, they're the unit that has been steady most of the season. And I don't see any reason to doubt that. We still have the same guys out there. Make the corrections this week in practice. Watch the film tomorrow. Flush it. Get ready for LSU. But, man, this is a special team. This is a special group that is embarking on something that hasn't been done since we've joined the SEC. And, we've got a chance to write our own destiny. We just have to make sure that we're making the plays that we're supposed to make. Make sure you're taking care of your job. Don't try to clean up anybody else's mess. Do your job. That's the biggest thing. And so, the offensive unit, thought Marcel was poised tonight. I thought he made made a lot of great plays. I thought that running back room, I've said it from the start, I think they're the most talented group that we have on that side. But then you have a veteran offensive line that when it comes down to it and it's nut cutting time, that those 5 guys found a way to find space for our backs hit the holes, and we were able to salt that game away. So, yeah, next week won't be easy. 6:30 in Baton Rouge, Death Valley. But this football team, the way that we're capable of playing defense, the way that we're able to run the football over 200 yards rushing tonight, we give ourselves a great opportunity by going in and controlling and dominating the line of scrimmage, playing solid defense behind, that offense that can be explosive, and we're going to give ourselves a chance to win. So, I'm not as nervous going into Baton Rouge. I think it's a very winnable game. Not the same LSU team of old, but this is not the same Aggie team of old either. This is a team that's 7-0 that has a mission, and they're playing like they want to go and take that step.
Leone, a couple things to wrap it up, but now it becomes a math problem in my eyes, right? In this expanded playoff world that we're in, A&M's got 5 games to win 3. I want them to win all. Please don't. But I'm just saying, from a mathematical standpoint, you've got 5 games to win 3. It'll be a lot easier if you do it next week against in Baton Rouge against LSU. But really, if a 10-win SEC team with a win on the road at Notre Dame is going to the playoffs, so can they get 3 with 5 remaining, Mr. Leone?
Absolutely, this football team can win 3 of their next 5. They've shown us, like you said, to open up the show, or when you're asking Chris the question, when the defense has struggled, the offense responded. When the offense has struggled, the defense responded. Like, this is a complementary football team. We had a game that was delayed tonight. It was wet, And I'm telling you, Taylor Green is the most dynamic player that I think will face the rest of the season. The amount of pressure that he puts on a defense, if things break down, if you get upfield too much, if the pocket opens up, if there's any room for him to get downfield, the way we play man, it was a ton of availability for him to move down the field. And so I don't think that LSU's quarterback is going to be able to do that against us. I think we can create pressure with 4, and then we use these dynamic blitz packages from both levels at the linebacker and in the safety position. We're going to put a lot of pressure on him. So all we have to do is keep stacking wins. If I'm Coach Elko, I'm not talking about the stuff that me and you are talking about right now. I'm talking about winning next week, because every time you win the next week, the math works better in our favor. And man, I wanted to share this quote with y'all. I was reading it this week in a book that I'm reading, and I just hearing the Aggies be negative right now after winning a huge game. It says, every next level of your life demands a braver version of you. Yesterday's thinking is building your current ceiling. We've got to quit thinking about how we used to be as a team and embrace this football team right now that is about to be number 3 in the country and the only undefeated team left in the SEC. It's not our responsibility as fans to go in there and take care of it and watch film and get better. It's our job to support them and ride out with them and be excited about what the hell this team is doing right now. This is the most excited I've been for A&M football in a very long time. And so I believe they can do it, but they got to take it 1 week at a time. They got to clean some things up, tackle better, and minimize those explosive plays and travel on the road and play like they did tonight. I'm excited about it.
Chris Harrington, let's close out with you. I don't think we've done enough on Marcel Reed today because, you know, we've talked about the running game. We've talked about the wide receivers. We've talked about the defense having some issues. But Marcel Reed, I think Coach Elko in his press game said it was his best game this year. Efficient. I really wish for his stats and for my, blood pressure that touchdown would have counted at the end of the game. I would have loved to have been up by 17 and relaxed. But just talk about the way he kind of really commanded the offense today.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. He's really growing up and maturing as a player. And yeah, I just want to say, CT and Brandon, y'all are so eloquent. Y'all have done such a great job tonight. So Brandon, thank you for that quote. CT, you're wise beyond your years. So great job, guys. But no, I mean, he's confident. He's got playmakers all around him. He still can be better. That's the thing. There's still some throws I think he wished he could have back. That big run there in the fourth quarter, the silly holding call. So I think, when they combine, I think when the pressure's on and they continue to, move forward and the pressure grows, I think we're going to see them respond. And one of the best things I'm seeing is this team is so well conditioned. A&M's offense is marching down the field. Arkansas's defense is gassed. Our guys, hands are not on hips. They're not breathing heavy. They've been Moffitt's got them so well conditioned, and we're seeing it play out as we get deep into the season. We're staying healthy. That's all attributed to the work that they've done in the offseason. And, we just need to continue to push forward. What side of the, team's going to step up next? We'll see. Hopefully they both do, special teams as well. But I'm very encouraged. I'm excited to see this team, go to Death Valley next week.
Gentlemen, good stuff. Thank you so much. We'll do it again next week. Appreciate everybody. Texas A&M wins 45-42. And as I close out this show, I feel like I should give some of these stats. I didn't say anything about Omega Blake. 7 catches, 118 yards. Goodness. Mike Washington had that 147. Taylor Green, he was excellent. But Marcel Reed's 280, 3 touchdowns in the air. How about his touchdown on the ground? Reuben Owens with his 2 touchdowns to go along. And how about the way E.J. Smith ran and ABR and the rest of the wide receivers? So that's going to do it here for the TexAgs post-game wrap. Appreciate everybody listening. And thank you so much to our good friends at TKO Equipment. We'll see you tomorrow on the Luchador.